Hello and welcome to this dynamic flow. And today we're going to focus a little bit on strengthening and also stretching out the glutes. We'll obviously open up the rest of the body as well as we always do, but a nice punchy little practice here. So let's start lying down on the back and I'll meet you there. And so making your way into Supta Baddha Konasana, bringing the feet together, knees out to the sides, and just letting the whole body start to sink and settle. No great effort required here, just a little bit of surrender and softness to come into the body. Nice deep breath in, long breath out. And just start to notice the sensations of the body. Start to broaden your awareness through your body. And start to allow for the lower back to soften, the shoulders to soften, the face to soften, the jaw, the eyes, the tongue, the lips. As you're starting to let the body ease into stillness, there's an immediate dissolving of urgency. Let all sense of urgency kind of just be put aside for a moment. There's not much use for it here. Notice the softness through your ribs and belly as you begin to feel into the rhythm of your breath. So as you loosen off the torso, you're allowing your breathing to open up quite naturally. Start to establish a nice continuity on your breath. Breathe in for about 5 or 6 seconds and breathe out for about 5 or 6 seconds. As you're starting to stretch out your breath, start to concentrate on the lower back filling up with breath, letting it fill up into the side bodies and rise up into the chest. As you're keeping your shoulders nice and soft, start to focus on the texture of your breath. So let it be a very gentle process. Smooth out the breath. And so you're watching the refinement of the breath in its transition from the top of the inhale to the end of the exhale and vice versa. And so as much as we're going to move the body in a very dynamic way, we look to keep a kind of stability through the breath and generally look to slow it down within whatever context is going on in the body. The heart rate's going to raise at some points, but still in context, the breath slows down. And so let's keep that level of awareness on the breath and use it as an anchor point for the mind. And start to draw the knees together, up in towards the chest. Have a little bit of a squeeze of the knees. If you're called to happy baby, go for that. Or just take another breath or two here. And then let's get stuck into some rolling bridge. Set the feet down on the floor, hip width apart. As you inhale, lift the hips up towards the ceiling. And as you exhale, lower your hips straight back down. And then let that movement build gently. So one breath to one movement. And feeling a squeeze on the glutes as you're lifting your hips. So there's the power train for it, the squeeze on the glutes. But then also look to draw the belly in, especially as the hips start to come down. So there's this good front body core stability. Last one. Inhale to lift, exhale to lower. And as the hips come down, draw the right knee in towards the chest, give it a nice tight squeeze, left leg out nice and long, and then just head into a little twist here. So take the right leg over to the left, a good 2 or 3 breaths here, opening out your right shoulder. Last big breath, so not very long at all, just a bit of an introduction, nothing too severe either. And then with your inhale, come back up through center. Onto the other side of that twist. So left knee comes in, might move your hips a bit underneath you, and then take it over to the side. Nice and open through the shoulder. Last breath here. And then as you come back through center, hug the knees in towards your chest, rock yourself up to a seat, and let's roll over the knees and come directly towards cat-cow. So find tabletop, move straight into it. Take an inhale to press the belly down, puff the chest forward and look up. And then the opposite, really round and arch up through the spine, tucking the chin. And then keep on going. The inhale to press the belly down. Exhale to arch up and let it build and develop over a few rounds. Keep on going. Get the tailbone or the pelvis really moving. So articulating your pelvis and letting that initiate the movement of the spine. You start to get the shoulder blades involved a bit more as well. Squeezing them together as you inhale. Arching and spreading them apart as you exhale. Last round, dip to the arch. And then returning to a neutral spine. Don't go crazy with the next one, but bring your right knee approximately to the middle of your mat, in between the line of your hands, and then cross your left knee over the right shin and send that left leg back. So you're in something like a half pigeon, but not quite. The hips can be high. The knee, or the shin rather, is pointing straight down your mat, and just a little rock here. So don't go too far down into it. I mean, it's early days. It's one of the first postures, and pigeon's quite deep and needs a fair bit of heat and openness on the glute. So more just a feel for the connection of the glute, your backside, into your hamstring, the back of your leg. And we'll just take 1 or 2 more breaths here. Little rock, left to right. And then back to tabletop. Hands and knees. Separate the knees and bring the left knee towards the middle of the mat. Lift the right leg and cross it over the left. And then just send the hips sort of straight back, more than out to the side, sort of straight back. And again, just a little feel out. I think it's a fairly unique position here, but we just don't want to go too deep into it. So we don't want to compromise the knee, don't want to strain the glute at all, especially in these first moments. We'll just take another couple of breaths, a bit of a feel for things. Notice where the sticky spots are. Get informed through sensitivity. So a build of awareness in the body, a build of knowledge. And there's that deep sense of intimacy and very much a part of the yoga practice. Let's take one more big breath here. And then back to tabletop, and let's come up into downward facing dog. Tucking the toes, lifting up the hips, taking some movement through the legs, pedaling one leg at a time, swaying the hips even. And again, getting stuck into the connection from the backside, the glutes, into the back of the legs, the hamstring. So a little wiggle of the tail or move the hip side to side, getting into the outer hip, into the side body connection. We'll just take another breath or two here. And then start to walk your hands backwards towards your feet into a very gentle forward fold. Nice and loose through the shoulders and the neck. You might catch opposite elbows above the head. You might just let the arms dangle. Another 2 big breaths here, shifting some body weight forward and back. toes to heels. And then gently roll up the spine through to standing. Reach up and stretch up nice and tall, nice and high. Catch opposite elbows above the head. Nothing more than this. Drop the shoulder blades and lift the chest. Lean back just for 2 big breaths. Squeeze your glutes. Try and suck the belly in. And then release, hands through prayer and fold all the way down. Walk your hands out to plank position. Shoulders above the wrists. Find that distance for yourself and drop the tailbone. Try and arch through the upper back. And then take a little bend into the knees and slide the hips back and up into down dog. Immediately forward into high plank. Little bend. And then send it back. Last one, high plank. And back to downward facing dog. This time, come into high plank. Drop the knees. Lower the whole body down until you're flat. Take the hands a little bit wider. Inhale to lift up the chest into cobra. Exhale to lower straight back down and then carry on. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. A few more of these. Get a good rhythm going. Breath and movement synchronized together. Point the feet hard. Keep the feet in contact with the floor and activate your knees and thighs. So straight knees. Last round now, lift and lower. And as the chest comes down, push back through to tabletop, hands and knees, up into down dog, and then pretty immediately walking towards the top of the mat, feet coming forward. As you get there, inhale to halfway lift, flatten out your back. Exhale to fold again. Inhale to stand tall, reach up, all the way up. Exhale to chair pose. Bend the knees, sink the hips, feet stay wide and knees stay wide. So weight's predominantly back in the heels. And then reach your arms forward, palms turn up towards the ceiling, and then any amount start to raise the hands up. So a little bit awkward on the shoulder position, but strong nonetheless. We keep some lift on the chest, keep dropping the shoulder blades. We take just 2 more big breaths here. A little bit tricky as the hands come to prayer. Lift the heels up off the ground and then try and stand up on the balls of the feet. We're lighting up the heat in the thighs, the glutes, the legs. Raise up the arms. Big breath in at the top. Interlace your hands behind the lower back. Roll back the shoulders here. Drop the heels. Bend the knees and fold again. Hands up. Hands up and over the head. 2 more big breaths here. Release, hands to the floor. Let's modify a sun cell. So inhale to halfway lift. Left foot steps back into runner's lunge. Drop the back knee just for 1 breath as you raise the arms. Palms touch if you can. Lean back and then release. Hands to the floor. Step back into down dog. Lift up the hips. Inhale, high plank, come forward. Drop the knees for this first round and find a double chaturanga. Bend the elbows 1 time, push back up, do it again. Bend the elbows, up dog. Pull the chest through the arms and then lift the hips up and back, down dog. Breath or 2. And then a walk, a step or a jump to the top. Feet coming forward. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, stand tall, reach up. Exhale back into the chair, bend the knees, sink the hips. A little shorter in duration now. So hands reach forward, palms up. Inhale, 1 breath, arms up, suck the belly in. Hands to prayer. Lift the heels. Find your balance, go slow as you stand up. All the way up, raise up the arms. Lift the heels, squeeze the glutes, big breath. Interlace hands behind the lower back. Roll back the shoulders. Drop the heels. Bend the knees. Fold again. Hands coming up. 2 big breaths. Welcome to straighten out the legs a little more there, but relax the neck. Exhale to release. Hands to the floor. Inhale. Halfway lift. Right foot steps back and lower the knee. Squeeze your right glute. Raise the chest and arms. Palms touch. Lean back. Exhale, release. Step back to down dog. Hips up. Inhale. High plank straight away. Exhale, chaturanga. Inhale. Up dog. Pull the chest through. Exhale to down dog. Hips up. Breath or two. And then a walk, a step or a jump to the top, feet coming up. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, stand. Exhale to fold again, hands coming down. Halfway lift, inhale. Left foot stepping back into runner's lunge, and as you arrive, keep the back knee straight and raise your right arm up into a twist. Immediately take it into a half bind. So wrap the right arm behind the lower back. Turn back the right shoulder. Take a good 2 more breaths here, but again, back leg is very strong and stiff. 1 more generous breath here. Keep the half bind, lower the back knee down. Take the hand off the floor and reach it up for the ceiling. So there's a little bit of twist happening here. Welcome to keep the arm lifted, or if it's there, Gomukhasana, the arms, bring the grip, the fingers together. But start to turn the chest forward a little bit more. Go ahead and lean to your right. Nice big side bend. Only 2 breaths. Brief hold. Front heel almost pulling back. And let's take those 2 breaths there. So we've got traction on the front foot. Last big breath. Release. 2 hands to the floor inside your front foot. So it's a little bit awkward in the stance, inside the front foot. Puff the chest forward here on fingertips. Keep the front knee hugging to the arm as you start to straighten through the front leg, lifting the front ball of the foot. But 2 more of these. Inhale, lunge. Exhale to the fold. Straighten the leg. Last one. Inhale to lunge. Exhale back to the fold. Now, pause here for a moment. Walk your hands over to the left. Probably have to extend and adjust your stance, but gate pose is on its way. Body turns to the left. Back knee is down, left knee. Front leg is straight, toes up. Right hand to the knee, thigh, floor maybe for some of us, but lifting the chest up. Squeeze your left glute and reach towards your front foot. We take a good 2 more breaths here. Right elbow or the arm is inside the thigh to kind of leverage the chest open, or you're grabbing a hold of it and doing the same. We take another big breath here. Bit tricky here. As we lift up the chest, bring the left hand down to the back of your mat, plant it, right hand lifts up, and the right foot spins down to the floor. Now do your best here. Try and pick up your left knee and tap it into the left elbow. 2 big breaths, hold. And as your right hand comes down, flip the left leg over into wild thing. Rotate the pelvis, lift the hips, turn the chest. Left foot up between the hands at the back of your mat. Puff the chest forward on fingertips and we'll use the back of the mat. Simple twist. Left arm raising up, take it into a half bind. Wrap that arm behind your lower back. So keeping the back leg nice and straight. Just another couple of breaths here. Keep the half bind. Lower the back knee. Take the hand off the floor. Reach it up for the ceiling. Either keep it reaching up or find a Gomukhasana grip. Chest faces forward. Lean to your left. Squeeze your right glute. Keep lifting the ribs up here. 2, maybe 3 more breaths. Keep going, keep holding. Final big breath. Release. 2 hands inside the front foot. So it's a bit awkward in the stance. Work with it. Puff the chest forward on fingertips. And just be gentle as you start to straighten through the front leg into like a half Hanuman here. Keep going. 2 more. Inhale, lunge. Puff the chest forward, hug the knee in. And then exhale, straighten the leg and fold. Last one. Inhale, lunge. Exhale to the fold. Hold here. Walk the hands over to the right, back to the side of the mat. Extend the stance, get it adjusted. Usually knee and ankle or heel in line with each other. Raise up the arms, gate pose. Squeeze the glute, right glute. Left hand to the knee, thigh, or inside the leg. But as you're reaching up, reach over towards your left leg and tilt the top shoulder back. Helping that is the bottom side of your ribs, the left side of your ribs, rotating forward, pulling under the body. Take another big breath. Inhale, lift out. Right hand down to the floor, original top of the mat. Left hand up. Turn the back foot down and then do your best here. Pick up your right knee, tap it into the elbow and hold. Stay for a breath or two. And as the left hand comes down, flip it into wild thing. Right foot steps over, rotate the hips, turn the chest. Couple of big breaths, lifting. Last big breath here. And then one big step, right foot to the top of the mat. Follow it by the left foot all the way up. Inhale to halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to stand, reach up. Exhale to fold again, hands coming down. Halfway lift and then step or jump straight back into chaturanga. Bent elbows. Inhale finds up dog, chest pulls through. And exhale to downward facing, hips up. 1 or 2 breaths only, just enough to slow and settle the breath. Inhale, right leg up. Exhale and step that foot in between the hands. Go ahead and find an extended arrowhead. So reach the arms forward, lift the chest just off the thigh. Now get the back leg really straight, one big breath. Hands to prayer, turn to your right. So we've got this nice load on the front leg into the twist. Now leverage off the prayer, push the right hand into the left and keep the back knee quite strong and stiff. Another 2 or 3 breaths here. That's it, last one, strong back leg. Release, 2 hands to the floor. Puff the chest forward on fingertips. And as you start to straighten the front leg, lift the front ball of the foot. We'll do this 2 more times. Inhale, lunge. Exhale to the fold. Last one, inhale to lunge. Exhale to the fold. This time, as you lunge, walk the hands forward a little further, like a tripod with the 2 hands and the 1 foot. Tap your left knee to the back of the right calf. Curtsy down a little lower, like the knee is sliding down towards the Achilles or the heel. 1 more breath. And then step that left foot back into warrior 2. Open out the arms. Immediately straighten the front leg and reach up. Come back through warrior 2 on your way to side angle. Elbow to knee. Top arm reaching up over the head into extended side angle. Welcome to bring the right hand to the floor. Concentrate on the chest turning open here. And take another 2 big breaths only. Very short hold. Keep it strong, keep it powerful. Belly in, back leg strong. Last big breath. And as the left hand comes down, find Skandasana at the back of the mat. Turn the left foot back, straighten the front leg. Take a good couple of breaths here. Chest up, sinking heavy into the left heel. Maybe hands at prayer. Breath or 2 more. And then walk the hands back to the original top of the mat. Now, as soon as you arrive, back leg, left leg lifts up into standing splits. Hold for a breath or 2. Kick it strong towards the ceiling. Now, similar to before, but not quite the same. Tap the left knee to the back of the right calf. Curtsy and slide the knee down towards the ankle. Slide it back up the calf and then shoot it back up into standing splits. Just do it 1 more time. Knee to calf. Curtsy. Slide it down and then lift it back up. Standing splits. And very simply, step the feet up and together. Roll up the spine all the way through to standing. Reach up and stretch up. Hands to prayer at heart center. Lift the right knee in towards your chest. And we'll find a figure 4. So as you set the right ankle onto the left knee, sit the hips down nice and low. A couple of choices. You might think about interlacing the hands behind the lower back. Roll back the shoulders, fold. If it's a little strong, keep the hands at prayer and sink nonetheless. Tailbone sticks back a little bit. Belly stays nice and tight. We take a good 2 or 3 more breaths here. Not too long. We've got just a little bit more work to do here. So stick with me, probably a little bit tricky. So let's do it together. Knee to chest, let's go a little slower. Stand up, hands to prayer. And now a little curtsy. So this right knee points down. Send it out to your left, the side of the mat, into what we might call a dragon squat. So it says your right leg kicks out to the left, right hand comes down, two hands come down. Sit as low as you can into the hips. Take one more big breath here. Keep the right hand planted. Now this is a little tricky. Be strong in this right ankle that's out to the side of your mat. You might use your left hand. Lift your left leg and step it back into a fallen triangle. As you arrive, left arm raises up, back heel is on the floor. One big breath more here, lift the hips. And as the left hand comes down, hug the knee to the chest and flip it into wild thing. Right leg turns over, lift the hips, turn the chest, 1 or 2 breaths. You got this. As the right hand comes down, tap your right knee to right elbow, squeeze it in. Kick it back and come through a flow. Chaturanga, bend your elbows. Up dog, inhale. Exhale to down dog and catch your breath. Last one, slow it down. Keep the shoulders pushing the ground away. Stay for one more generous breath here. Let it really settle the heart rate just for one more moment. Inhale, raise the left leg up. Exhale, step that foot in between the hands. Extended arrowhead. Reach your arms forward. Lift the chest just off the thigh. One big breath. Hands to prayer, turn to your left and twist. Nestle the elbow, turn the chest, hold, breathe, stay. Back leg super firm. 2 more big breaths here. Release, hands to the floor. Puff the chest forward on fingertips. Exhale to straighten the front leg, lift the ball of the foot. 2 to go. Inhale to lunge. Exhale, lift the hips as you fold. Last one, inhale, lunge. Exhale to the fold. This time, take the lunge, walk the hands a little further forward, tap the back knee, the right knee, to the back of the left calf. One time, slide the knee down to the ankle, and then step it back into warrior 2. Open out the arms, straighten the front leg and reach up and back. Come back through warrior 2 to side angle. Left elbow to the knee, right hand up and over, extended side angle. Keep the hips sinking a little. Keep the chest open, keep the hips open. So the front knee nudges a little to the left. A good 2 more breaths here, so not too long. Keep it powerful. And as your left hand comes down, Skandasana at the back. Straighten the front leg, turn the foot out, and sit the hips down. Give it a chance to open, let it settle. Maybe you sink deeper into the right heel and hold. One more big breath here now. Walk the hands back to the top of the mat. Set yourself up, runner's lunge. Back leg lifting up into standing splits. So power in the top leg. The glute is working to lift that right leg up here. And then as you exhale, knee to the calf, slide it down to the ankle. Lift it back up, shoot it to the ceiling. One more, knee to calf. Slide it down, squat deep. Inhale, lift it back up, splits, and very simply step up, feet together. Roll up the spine, all the way through to standing. Reach up, stretch up, nice and big. Hands to prayer, heart center. Left knee comes up and in, and then figure 4. Set the ankle onto the knee, sit the hips down, and again, tailbone sticks back a little, like you're sticking your bum back. And then as you're sitting your hips down, maybe interlacing behind the lower back, roll back the shoulders, and think about folding again. Easy breathing. Settled, sweet, and slow. 3 or so more breaths here. Sink deep, get the glute nice and open. Probably down to the final breath or so now. Hands to prayer, heart center. Stand up, knee to chest, hold for a moment. All right, let's do this thing. Point the knee down, send it out behind the right leg, out to the right-hand side of your mat, and sit the hips down. So it should be a fair bit of work on this right leg that's planted on the floor. Sink, sink, sink. The knee can come forward to the toes. 2 more big breaths. And I think one of the keys for the transition to come is making this left leg, the ankle, the one that's sticking out to the side there, make that ankle strong. So get to the outside blade of the foot, plant the left hand down. Your right foot, the one on the mat, lift it up, step it over and into fallen triangle. As the hips lift up, open out the chest, a couple of big breaths, strong shoulder here. And as the right hand comes down, hug the left knee to the chest, flip it into wild thing. Turn the chest, turn the hips, open up. As your left hand comes down, tap the left knee to left elbow. You got it. Kick the leg back and come through a flow. Chaturanga. Inhale, up dog. Exhale to down dog and drop down to the knees. Kneeling or child's pose. Shut down the eyes. Work with this pivotal and transitional moment in the practice. The heightened physical activity being met with this conscious conditioning of the breath to slow down. The conscious part of it, the choice to do it, the involvement, the presence with it, this is all changing the neurology. Your brain is making connections to soothe the body through the breath in uncomfortable and heightened moments. Keep that connection. Slow down the exhale, stretch it out. Hands to the floor. Walk a little further forward towards the top of the mat, top third at least. Lift the hips away from the heels. Squeeze your glutes. We're looking at camel here. So belly in, hands to the lower back, roll back the shoulders, lift the chest, and keep the shoulders pinching back and also down, down. Belly in, glutes strong, lean back, and then keep lifting the chest up. Maybe the hands come to the heels. If you want to unlock the chin, push the head back, let the spine grow, the neck grow, and then drop the chin open and breathe here. Belly in. 3 more. Chest through again. Last breath, glutes strong, belly in. Keep it all tight. And then lift up, lift out. Gently sit down inside the heels, and we'll think about coming towards hero. So I know it's not the most comfortable position for a lot of us, but you might sit on a cushion or 2 here. If this is yucky through the knee or the ankle, most definitely sit on a cushion. If you're fairly okay, start to make your way back. Hands walking backwards, and some of us might just chill out there, sort of starting to recline. I mean, I can feel it right there. And usually I can come down to the floor, but it's on pretty early in this shape, I think. So work with your range. Be honest, be compassionate, be caring about your body. You know, especially in this sort of practice, more is not necessarily better. Let it be a pleasant-ish experience. At least tipping the scales to that side of things. Let your belly be nice and loose. Let it slow down the breath. And if you are making your way onto your back, little tuck of the tail on the way through. Elbows as a first stop, little pit stop. And then maybe down onto the back. But again, work with your body. We especially don't push the joints. I mean, we can push the muscles a little bit, but we don't push the joints. So if the knees or the ankles aren't having it, back it off. It's okay. We give it time, we give it space, and it's all just about practice and repetition. But during that journey, we're like holding the hand of the body. We're holding hands with the body, taking this journey, walking this path together with a great deal of kindness and care. And practically, find your breath, slowing down. No greater gesture in the practice than being able to slow down your breath in an uncomfortable moment. Try and take 5 more easy breaths here. Last breath or 2. And then wriggling your way out nice and gently back to the forearms, back to tabletop, hands and knees position. Take your time to kick one leg out and then the other. Get some good blood flow back into the knees, and just as you're ready, take your legs out in front of you and take the feet about as wide as your mat, hands behind you. Just drop the knees a couple of times from side to side. Just let everything loosen off for a second. Once you feel fairly settled, we'll come towards a wide-legged forward fold. So legs out wide, little variation or 2 in this one today. So as you lift the chest, feet lifted, thighs active and the shins active, this whole front chain of the body. But as you lift, start to walk the hands out like the belly button is coming out and in between the legs. Also the lower back almost feeling like you're in a back bend. So push the lower back forward, and you should feel the whole orientation of your pelvis change. So we're keeping this sense of tilting the pelvis forward so that the spine can elongate from the lower back and then come down into the fold. But again, the legs stay fairly active to keep this kind of engagement where we're not dumping into the hip joint and the knees. And so we're meeting that little bit of effort, little bit of ease. Nothing has to be absolute maximum. And then we let the breath saturate the lower back. Now, welcome to stay here. This is a strong and beautiful shape as it is, but a little variation. You could lift up the chest, maybe 45 degrees or so, maybe to the top, and then take the chest over towards one leg. You take a few breaths there, and then think about taking it over to the other leg. If you're taking this sort of variation onto one side in this asymmetric position, keep both sitting bones planted. So my chest is over towards my left leg. I'm feeling it a little bit more over the right hip and the right side of the spine. Work with those things and drop the sitting bone to emphasize. But again, lengthen the lower back and folding. You're going to leave it up to you how long you kind of want to stay on each side there, but really good to start to switch over and coming towards the tail end of this hold now. A few final generous breaths. A little while longer though. Jaw nice and soft, eyes nice and soft. Last breath or two. And then with an inhale, lifting up, lifting out. Draw the legs together, bend your knees, roll down onto your back, and as soon as you arrive, lift the legs up towards the ceiling. Now, welcome to come all the way up into shoulder stand, lifting up the hips, or just sliding the hands underneath the outside of the hips into Viparita Karani, legs up the wall pose. I'll just take this opportunity to take a few easy breaths here, nothing too long in the hold. If you're up there in shoulder stand, you're welcome to take the legs over your face into plow. Do be mindful of the neck. And if you're in shoulder stand or plow, just ever so lightly press the back of the head down, right where the neck meets the skull. Press that little area down, just enough that you feel your neck muscles activate. Not so much that it's resisting the kind of stretchiness and that big angle that's happening on the back of the neck, but just enough that you're not dumping all your weight into your neck vertebrae, which are very small and very mobile. Final few breaths. And then release, set the feet on the ground, dropping the knees a couple of times from side to side, left to right. And from there, coming towards Happy Baby with a bit of a hold on Happy Baby and possibly a variation. So taking Happy Baby, drawing the tailbone down a little further towards the ground. And you might just kick one leg and then the other, just feeling things out. Now, a little variation. We could bring the soles of the feet to touch, lower the tailbone continually, and then lift the feet up, as if the big toes are coming to the forehead or the heels to the forehead. Be looking for length at the spine. So it's not about lifting the feet so the tailbone lifts too. We're trying to create length. Tailbone down, feet lifting in contrast. So it's a bit stronger, it's a bit more active. More than that, you release your left foot, focus on the right leg. And in this variation, maybe thinking about the heel coming towards the forehead. If it's there for you and you want to do a party trick, take the leg behind your head. See how that goes. We'll take just a couple more breaths. I think it's quite a nice, deep kind of stretch here. You are welcome to sort of lift the head and think about getting that leg behind the head. Well, let's just take a couple more. Again, tailbone down, heel lifting, breath or two more. Deep shape. And then switching to the other side. If you've got both feet together and you've just had enough, hug the knees towards the chest and take a few more breaths. And if you're keen for Savasana or you want to do anything else before Savasana, we're nearly there. So feel free to wrap up your practice in a way that's individualized and organic, just feeling out what the body needs, applying yourself to that, listening to the body. But otherwise, we've got this left foot and tailbone's lowering, foot's lifting. A few more breaths. Quite deep, but quite a nice position to open up the connectivity of the backside, the glute, into the outer hamstring. There's sort of different parts of your hamstring, the back of the leg, and this hits a bit more to the outside, and I'm sure you can feel that. I'll take a couple more breaths here. Nice little hold. Alrighty, release. Again, a windscreen wipe or possibly a brief bridge pose, but as soon as you're ready, let's come on down into Savasana. Create some space in the body, not only physically but mentally as well. And after all that movement, very dynamic movement, we look to balance it out with a sense of stillness for a little while. Nice deep breath in. Heavy releasing breath out. Letting the shoulders soften, neck soften. Tongue and lips really soft. And let the body settle into stillness. Let your attention feel broad. Like take in all the details of this moment, but without needing to comment on them. No responses needed, no analysis or processing or dissection. Just leave things as they are, but watch. See if you can give all of yourself to this moment, whatever comes with it, but be a bystander. Watch. Settle in, and let's pause into this little rest here in Savasana. As you're ready, take a nice deep breath in. Awaken the body. Choose the right moment to have a wriggle and a stretch. Awaken the body through movement. You might like to turn off to a side. Take a moment or two there. Coming up to a seated position as you're ready. As you arrive in the seat, keep the eyes closed a moment. We bring the hands to prayer at heart center, and we create this gesture as a kind of a signature or a gesture, a seal of togetherness, a feeling of union with the polarizing qualities within ourselves, but also as a sense of connection to the practice, to each other, and ultimately to ourselves. And with that in mind, we take a humble bow of the head and say namaste. Thanks, folks. Pleasure as always. Enjoy. See you next time.